I was lucky enough to get an early copy of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Today I want to tell you guys how I did that and my early thoughts on the game. No spoilers, don't worry, I'm not spoiling any plot or anything like that. But I am like 20 hours into the game, and I need to talk about it. Even though I can't like talk about it with someone because I just happen to get an early copy. But man, I need to talk about it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, as I said, we're going to be talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And before we do that, I just want to say, let's pour one out for Live Alive. I was excited to play this game and try to, like, kind of, not rush myself, but try to do that little challenge of beating it before Xenoblade comes out the following Friday. Well, no chance that's happening. So, I have an early copy here. It's in my Switch right now. I'm not going to get it, but yeah, that's the game. There's the back, if you're watching this and want to see that. So, as you all know, I'm a collector. I've been on my big Switch grind recently, and what I do is I search Switch games and sort by newest on eBay and just kind of see if any deals pop up that interest me. And I'll do that, while watching TV or something, just casually, just scrolling, seeing what there is to buy. And one day, I think it was on Monday actually, I saw a listing for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Which, normally that wouldn't mean much. Normally it's just a pre-order or something. But this was clearly someone that had the game on hand because the pictures were of the guy in his kitchen. It said ships immediately. I was like, okay, I'm going to risk it. Worst case scenario, eBay's pretty good about giving you your money back if you get scammed. And I was expecting it to be a scam. I was kind of expecting it to be fake. Because not only was it an early copy of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, here's the kicker, guys. It was $45. It was less than MSRP. So, listen, I don't know how the person got the copy. That's not really my place to say. I think we all know what probably happened here. But, that I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I'm just an unknowing customer buying it on eBay. So I bought it on eBay on, I think it was Monday, and it came on Thursday. Originally, it said it was going to come on Saturday, and I was kind of being quiet about it. I didn't tell anybody I know. I was like, playing Live this Friday. But then it came on Thursday. So I've been playing the game. So actually I got it 8 days early also, worth noting. And I've been playing it nonstop ever since. Well, I guess not quite nonstop. I could be further in it by now. I guess last morning before we start talking about the game, I'm going to talk about mechanics and stuff, but they've revealed all that stuff pre-release. So spoilers at your own discretion, I guess, based on what they've shown at pre-release if you haven't seen any of that. So like I said, about 20 hours in, first thing I want to say, the chapters in this game are so long. I just beat Definitive Edition back in, I think it was actually earlier this month, in July, maybe late June, and the chapters in that game are super short. They're like an hour a piece, and there's 17 of them, right? Maybe a little bit more than an hour, depending on what chapter it is. Xenoblade 2, the chapters are much longer, and there's 10 of them. The chapters in this game are way longer than either game. I'm not even done chapter 3, and I have 20 hours played. That's way more, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not doing everything, but I'm doing most of the side quests and side content. So to only be on chapter 3, in the other two Xenoblade games, I'm not sure about X because I haven't played X. Usually when a chapter's about to end based on the boss fight you're doing. There have been 2 boss fights in chapter 3 so far where I thought, oh, this is the end of the chapter. I'm going to be done for now. And I just keep playing because it just never ends. It just feels like it keeps going, which is a good thing. I like that it feels a little different. The pacing feels a little different. And once again, no story spoilers, but I just have to say, this game's really freaking good in terms of plot. I'm not going to make direct comparisons. I guess I'll be making direct comparisons. I'm not going to say which Xenoblade game is my favorite or I'm not going to say if I like this more than the other ones yet, because I don't know. I'm not even, halfway through the game. But the plot, just from the first 3 chapters, I do think I like more than Xenoblade 1. However, I am one of those people that like Xenoblade 2. I'm not sure I'm pointing up 3. I like Xenoblade 2 more than 1. And right now, I think I can pretty safely say I'm liking this more than Xenoblade 1, certainly up to that point in terms of playtime, because halfway through Xenoblade 1, nothing happens. No, I'm throwing shade on Xenoblade 1. I need to stop doing that. People are gonna yell at me. So just the amount of stuff that happens, even that first chapter, so much stuff happens in the first chapter. When you're gonna be playing this on launch day, and you're gonna beat that first chapter. It takes like 5 hours or so, and you're gonna be like, damn, that's the first chapter. Okay. Not that nothing happens in chapters 1 of Xenoblade 1 or 2 either, but it just feels like this game does a much better job, in my opinion, of setting up the stakes and setting up little, little potential plot twists for down the line. If you're paying attention, you can kind of tell what they're doing. It really does. You can tell. You can tell that they're setting stuff up for the future. And that goes to one complaint I do kind of have. The story's awesome. I love the story. I don't know how I feel about the characters yet. They're good. You get all 6 of them pretty early. And maybe that's part of the reason I'm not super attached to any of them yet, because they introduce 6 at once, basically, and you're trying to juggle all of them. Particularly with Noah, the main character, it feels like he hasn't had enough time to develop and really solidify himself as the main character, which I guess is kind of the point because you have all 6 characters, although obviously Noah and Mio are the 2 main ones. So right now, I'm doing a lot of stuff with Tyon, and Tyon's kind of like the focal character right now, and Lons, and these other characters that you would think would be more side characters, and maybe that's just kind of the point. They're trying to build them up before they really focus in on Noah and his his whole story and all that. But right now, none of the characters really jump out to me as great. I love Riku. Riku's awesome, the Nopon. But I would say if there's one thing that's kind of weaker about this game compared to the others, it would probably be characters right now. But who knows? When I do my full review in a week or so, that might completely change. But let's talk about the combat, because this is one of those things that you're always kind of worried about when going into a Xenoblade game, or at least I am, because I hate Xenoblade 1's combat. Xenoblade 2 combat is fantastic, Torna even better. I'm happy to say the combat in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is fantastic. It feels so good. I was worried because you have 6 characters at a time, 7 when you unlock the heroes later on, and it can kind of be overwhelming. And I will say, it can kind of be overwhelming. And I think it does have some caveats to it. I think I'm playing on normal. I think the game is a little bit easier because for rezzing a character now, you don't have the chain meter where you have to use one of your chain points to res a character. Instead, if you have a healer alive, that healer can just res infinitely. Not res infinite, that's a video game. So having 6, 7 characters on the field at any given point just inherently kind of makes it easier, because the AI is actually pretty good at doing what you tell them to do. You can tell them to focus on doing a smash combo, which is really nice, because I remember Xenoblade 2, I had trouble with that, with getting the AI to actually do what I wanted them to do. Same thing with Xenoblade 1. So in Xenoblade 3, you can just be like, okay, just focus on smash combos no matter what, do that, and then it's good. The combat is really smooth. Using the Ouroboros forms, I guess is the right terminology for that. That's really fun. Later on, you get more of those. Obviously, it's in the trailers. No spoilers. So you have a lot that you're juggling at once, and the UI looks really overwhelming. But I think the game does a pretty good job of just teaching you one thing at a time. And if this isn't, if you played Xenoblade 1 and 2, you're gonna fit right in, guys. Trust me, you're not gonna be confused. There is one thing that I'm still I'm not gonna say struggling with, but just kind of like unsure about how it works fully. And I should say, at the end of chapter 3, or I hope to God I'm at the end of chapter 3. I've been in this chapter for like 10 hours. I'm still unlocking new mechanics for the actual combat. I think I might be done now. I think I just got the last of it, but who knows what happens later on. The chain attacks, I'm not entirely sure how they work, because you can obviously keep chaining and going forever with the overkill stuff, but I'm having trouble figuring out how exactly that works with keeping the combos going. So that's just something I'll have to test with, and because you have your tactical points and you're getting those to 100%, but then healers can only go to 99%, but then you get bonuses based on what order you do. It's a lot of, a lot of factors you got to carry in there. So I'm sure I'll figure that out later in the game, and just by doing it enough, so chain attacks feel good. Once again, I think Xenoblade 2 chain attacks, once I learned them, felt so good. Putting those orbs on those enemies and then breaking them felt fantastic. So I'm hoping by the time I master Xenoblade 3's chain attack system, it feels that good, because once you start doing those Ouroboros chain attack, bro, peak. And another really cool thing about this game, kind of going back to the characters, and maybe even a little bit of a downside, is the class system, which they detailed in the Nintendo Direct. So, and that's another thing about the combat in general. You can switch characters during combat, which is new, which just makes even more chaos in terms of, how much possibility there is. But talking about the class system, it kind of almost takes away from each character, because no character has a unique move, basically. because Noah can be any of the classes. Uni can be any of the classes. Santa can be any of the classes. So it kind of makes it feel almost... I played and reviewed Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, or Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. It almost feels like that a little bit, where each character is just kind of a blank slate, and you can make them do anything. It's a little weird because, you know, there hasn't been much plot-related stuff happening with Noah's blade yet, but you can have any of the other characters use that blade. It's just a little weird seeing them use it. I scanned the Shulk amiibo, and that's really funny, just seeing the Monado in the game. So the class system is really cool from a gameplay standpoint. You can just have, and it makes using all these characters also easier in general too. One of my issues with Xenoblade 1 and 2 is that I kind of stick with my main party, and then I never really experiment with the other characters. Especially in Xenoblade 2, I just stuck with Rex, Nia, and Tora. So in this game, having all 6 plus a hero is kind of nice because you're using all of them, you're learning all of them, all the classes. It makes you appreciate every class a little bit more. But at the same time, not having the uniqueness of each character having their own unique moves doesn't take a little bit away from them as characters, I think. But once again, I'm only 20 hours, and anything could happen. My opinions could definitely change. The music, my God, the music is insane. The soundtrack is everything I could have hoped for from a Xenoblade soundtrack. The areas, the biomes, the variety of the landscapes. You're going through these snow areas, desert areas, grassy areas. You're going in a cave. You're going to all these colonies. It's just a really well-made video game, guys. And I don't want to go on for too long. It's already been 10 minutes. I just wanted to do an early impressions video, talk about my early impressions with this game. Like I said, I will be doing a full review. And while we're here, so I tweeted this out, and I think it might be my most liked tweet ever. It has like 500 likes, which isn't much, but I have a small Twitter account. Guys, I just want to applaud Monolith Soft and Nintendo, because this is the greatest feeling ever. We got Xenoblade 1, or Definitive Edition, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 2 Torna the Golden Country, and Xenoblade 3, all on one console. This is beautiful. I love this, and not to go onto a whole nother tangent, but I'm predicting that we may even end up with 7 physical Xenoblade games for all us collectors on the Switch, because I'm thinking, okay, we know we're getting a big story expansion next year. Good chance to do the same thing they did with Torna and release that physically. Okay, Xenoblade Chronicles X, we know they've said they're not doing it. Chances are they do it, you know, right? And then I'm kind of predicting that a Xenoblade Chronicles Warriors game is probably coming from Koei Tecmo. So, God, I hope that all happens. Xenoblade fans are eating. I cannot wait to hear what people think of this game when it comes out fully and properly next Friday. Like I said, I will be posting more videos as soon as I beat it, probably. I'm going to try to beat it super fast just because it's all I want to do right now. I was trying to catch up with some manga for my manga podcast, but that's not happening now. Any free time I have is going straight to Xenoblade, channeling that energy in. So if I beat it by the time the embargo lifts for reviewers, which will probably be next Thursday, I'm going to post videos then. If not, it'll just be Friday and then moving forward. So, yeah, I am super excited. I cannot believe this is the only time I've ever gotten a game early. So I feel very happy with that. This is a good one for me to get early because this is my Xenoblade 2 is my favorite Switch game. So having a game early is certainly a unique experience for me, something new, and I would like to replicate this with Pokemon in November, by the way. If I can do that, you know, if you guys know a place to get early copies, hit me up. I think the game has been dumped online also, so just be wary of spoilers, guys. Story spoilers. It's going to start happening. Boss spoilers, all that stuff. Because people don't care, and they're going to post whatever they want on YouTube thumbnails and in Twitter replies, and yeah, so be wary of spoilers. The game's getting dumped right now. I will not do that overtly, and if I do, you can crucify me. I'll always give a warning for spoilers. I'm not going to put it in the thumbnail, obviously. So, yeah, there you guys have it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out on Friday. Certainly living up to my expectations so far. And like I said, I'm excited to see what other people think. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this little early impressions video, of course, subscribe here for more Xenoblade Chronicles 3 content, as well as other Nintendo content. Every few videos a week here and there. You got the Nintendo Wrap, of course. You can follow me on Twitter at Botox Media, where I will, starting on Friday or whenever the embargo lifts for my reviewers, start posting more impressions there. And of course, TikTok, Instagram, all those places. Discord link to that is down below. And until next time, folks, bye-bye.